broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Markeia McCarty, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Woo! You can jam out a little bit, guys. It's all right.
Love it. Absolutely.
Hey, everybody. Tonight we had a big title change. The first tables match on SmackDown in 4 years and a couple of Royal Rumble challenges. It was a big night on SmackDown, and this is the AfterBuzz TV SmackDown After Show. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. My name is Christy Olsen, and I have some fabulous folks with me tonight. A little bit of change up from our regular panel. So glad that you guys are all here. You guys can tweet along with us using hashtag ABTV SmackDown. We love that you've joined us on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. Please give us a 5-star rating. Leave a little comment. Let us know what you think about the show. If you're watching on YouTube, give us that thumbs up. And I'm sure you'd like to know who these gorgeous faces are next to me. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, it's me, Adele's biggest fan. George Hermoza at G Hermoza.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Christian Rosenberg.
Slightly better looking than Christian Rosenberg.
Well, I just came back from Hawaii, you guys.
I can only tell the only reason I could tell it's not Christian is just because you're not wearing that shirt. That's the only reason. Otherwise, doppelganger.
I know. Everybody says that. I'm Markeia McCarty, at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty.
Oh, so many letters. I'm Ty Matthews. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, at Ty Matthews, PMA.
All right. Well, thank you for being here with us tonight, guys.
Of course. Thank you.
Christian and Scott will return next week, and you can, of course, get your Christian Rosenberg Pro Wrestling Tees at ProWrestlingTees.com. Make sure you check it out. Let's get into the show. However, they were live from the Cajun Dome tonight, and this one kicked off in a way that I really, really liked. Everybody's looking for Dean Ambrose. He's not there yet. Oh, but he arrives. Nene is waiting for him. That's what I call her when they're together.
Like it.
And they have a little chat. Were you guys expecting Dean to come into SmackDown in a big way like this tonight?
Just squealing in a
pickup truck.
Yeah.
Is that what the Uber cars are in Louisiana?
Yeah. Someone did call it a Cajun
Uber.
Yeah. But of course, Dean has to make an entrance in an unorthodox sort of way.
Yeah, he's Dean Ambrose. He's the favorite Joker meets Berserker character ever.
Mm-hmm.
He has to make it.
Yeah, you love him, right, Markeia?
I love him.
Yeah.
He's just fantastic. He always brings He always brings it.
I thought you liked Luke Harper.
I appreciate Luke Harper.
Okay.
I appreciate the mountain man that is Luke Harper.
Luke Harper's my favorite.
Okay, really?
No, but Dean Ambrose, I'm telling you, and I love it when he has a title on because everybody goes after the Dean and Dean takes on everybody.
Most girls like guys with ties, but you like titles. Guys with titles, apparently.
She's a special lady.
Yes. We'll just call him Sir Dean Ambrose.
So you had a chance, Ty, but your name's not Title. It's just Ty.
Damn it.
Well, Dean is looking for Kevin Owens. And he has a little bone to pick, shall we say. But that's not who comes out to greet him. No, Sheamus, of all folks. Did that make sense to you guys?
I don't know. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I did remember that they had a little bit of unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sheamus got busted open on a Monday.
God,
so.
what the color that he got! Holy crap!
Yeah, we don't see that much blood very often.
No,
unless
not
Lesnar is blading himself.
No, not anymore.
It was a little tough to watch, but I liked it.
Exactly.
I liked it.
Wrestling should be a little bit tough to watch sometimes.
It actually was a pretty explosive Raw, but led into some of the things that we saw tonight, a little bit of follow-up. Mm-hmm. So Dean is looking for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens finally comes out, but Dean has already challenged him to a match at Royal Rumble, a last man standing match. if you will. I'm excited about this. What do you guys
Very
think?
excited.
Oh, for sure.
I think this is going to be a really bad thing for Kevin Owens because Dean Ambrose doesn't stay down. He stays down, but it takes a lot. It's going to take more than a 10 count to keep Dean Ambrose
I'm not a
down.
big fan of last man standing matches.
Really?
I think they're a little.
I think with these two it'll be different. I think with these two, if you followed any of their stuff on the indies, you know that they can take it to each other and beat the holy hell out of
Yeah, I mean, that's
each other
fine.
It's
and
gonna
really
be
push
fit.
that PG
But
rating.
that's fine. I just don't like. I think the last man standings. I think they're a little anticlimactic.
Well, I think if they're as long as they're ending the way they should with someone actually getting knocked out, I think it's fine. I think those joke finishes that we get where guys get their ankles tied to the ropes or anything, I hate those.
Yeah.
But I think they can really. I think they'll deliver.
I mean, I think they're going to give it to each other, in many ways.
But I mean all the way up through the ending too.
in professional, in many
love this conversation.
many
I love this
professional
conversation.
wrestling related ways.
Yes.
It's fine. It's just
It's going to
wrestling.
be a very athletic pummeling, and
Exactly.
I expect a grand finish from the both of them.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose will retain.
Oh my.
Well, we got kind of a sneak peek tonight when Sheamus and Kevin Owens attacked Dean Ambrose. And who should come to his aid but Neville? Which also actually made sense to me. I was like, okay, we're not just doing random dumb things tonight. I like it. Thank you. You never know about SmackDown.
Sure,
folks.
you never know.
You never know. So that wrapped up pretty quickly and left us with a taste for the Royal Rumble. Next out, we see the Dudley Boyz in a tables match. Like I said, the first in 4 years on SmackDown. I don't know why. What the hell's wrong with them? That's what we need up in here is some more tables, some more kendo sticks. I'm all jazzed up because I watched the TNA Knockouts street fight
I
this
see.
week.
Okay.
The ladies whipping out the kendo sticks and the chairs and all that stuff. I love it. So
you
the
go.
guys can definitely get into it every once in a while. They are going up against the Wyatt family, and this was a great match. It was great after the match as well.
Sure. Not only the first tables match in 4 years, but the first of 3 main events that we'll see over the course of the show.
true.
I was a little bit gassed out on the Dudleys Wyatt's feud, but I figure if there's a reason to keep it going, a tables match is definitely it.
Yeah, it was a nice change up. I mean,
This was
who
kind of
doesn't
a-
love a good table match? That plus, all right, for serious, looking at Rowan, then he kind of looked like a mid-level mini boss.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Sure.
that put a nice
That's a good way
element
to
to
put
it for me.
sure.
I'm not a big fan of tables matches either, to be honest with you.
Oh my God, get out.
The issue
one
the issue that I had with this is that it's a tables match, ostensibly no disqualification. Why wasn't Strowman in there from the get-go,
Exactly.
beating the hell out of the Dudleys?
Yeah.
I love him.
So things like
He's
that.
Goes on
phenomenal.
me every week.
Sure.
Scary.
This
But
is-
it's, yeah.
This
Good,
is kind of a
scary.
match that a lot of people have been waiting to see because I think about a year ago when Harper and Rowan were kind of teaming together, they were using the 3D as a finisher.
Oh, they did use that
Yeah.
really
That's right.
briefly, for sure.
And then Rowan ended up getting hurt. But yeah, this is kind of a match that everybody's been talking about for a while. It's kind of cool to
Interesting.
kind of see them finally, tag. But yeah, I think it was for what it was. I'm not gonna, even though I'm not a big fan of tables matches,
Sure.
it was still a good match. I'm not gonna.
It would have been interesting to see Rowan and Harper maybe try to 3D
Yeah.
one of them through a table.
I thought they should have maybe at the end of the match, like she said, at the conclusion of it, or after the Dudleys end up winning. I thought it would have been cool. Yeah, the 3D. through the
Yeah,
table.
definitely.
Yeah.
Is there a stipulation match you enjoy, George?
Why are you so hard to please?
I like
George?
ladder matches. I mean, I like Hell in a Cell when they're not forced to do a Hell in a Cell match because of a pay-per-view.
Right.
Or Elimination
and when they
Chamber.
actually use the cell.
Yeah.
Right.
I just love when sore losers start tearing up the correspondence desk.
Oh,
or
it's
it's
the
just
best.
like, screw your 80s era monitors. Get this out of the
between
way.
SmackDown and Raw, I feel like the announce table is getting
That announce table.
raped, like instantly.
That announce table hasn't been destroyed like the last 3 or 4 weeks on Raw, and it's all by Dean Ambrose.
Right. And whenever they do, and like lately when they've been doing it on Raw, they do it right away, like
Yeah.
in the first half hour of the show.
Well, let's talk
Nothing
about
safe.
how the actual match ended. Kind of anticlimactically.
Just a little shove. Just a little bit of a shove.
Push.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Pushed him right through.
Yeah, it's kind of like you expected someone to be behind him on all fours. It was that kind of.
See, I kind of
Right.
like those finishes because, like, it just kind of shows.
out.
It kind of shows,
George.
and these are some of the
Hashtag
reasons
get out.
why
I feel
I've disliked tables matches before. Is that it seems a little bit more spontaneous, as to where like you got to really pay attention because now
Right.
this match can end at any time, even
Right.
with a simple push.
Definitely.
Yeah, and if that would have been all of it, I would have been very disappointed and very angry at that finish. But because they went on to do
know there's
even
more.
better things afterward, it was all right. Right?
I think so.
No,
I
it was
think the only other thing, another issue that I had is that Harper goes through a table, and obviously it's just a little bit of a shove, but then he's pretty much right back up and completely fine to dismantle the announce table.
Yeah.
But then
he worked through the pain.
Of course. If anyone
had to shake it off. He's limping now.
Yeah.
So.
It's the adrenaline tie. See what happens when
That's right. But then, of course, what they did to Bubba afterwards was absolutely worth it all.
Yeah. Not one, but 2 tables.
2 tables, double
right
choke slam off of the announce table. So many tables involved.
As it well should be. Anything else you guys would like to add about this tables match? I give it 5 stars.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Out of 7 stars?
No, out of 5, George.
No one uses that rating. No one.
Nice
Dave
try.
Meltzer, hello.
Minus 5 stars.
We don't like that guy.
5 out of 7.
Oh my god.
So next up, the beautiful JoJo comes out with her microphone. Love her too. And has a little chat with Kalisto about being the U.S. champ. He is amped to be the champ. Right? Do we like Kalisto as the U.S. champion? Of course, it didn't last too much longer after this.
Sure.
It's cute, right?
But I think it's great. And I think his promo touched on a lot of the stuff that was obviously, I think, inherent in them giving him the title, with him referencing guys like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, other, Latin underdogs, basically. And so I think he follows in that mold and is able to do things that neither of them could do.
I agree in terms of just kind of using not name dropping, but I mean they are gonna compare you no matter what you do or what you say to a Rey Mysterio. And if there's one thing you need to do in pro wrestling is relate to the audience, and what way to relate to the audience is relate to the guys that the audience relate to. Everybody loved Eddie Guerrero. Everybody loves Rey Mysterio. So I think Kalisto is going to be on that level sometime soon.
Yeah, and why not have somebody that's relatable? I mean, Alberto Del Rio is fantastic, and his legs are bigger than Kalisto is, But I would have liked to see him as United States champion for a little bit. It was a different flavor. It, spoke to a different part of the audience. And don't you want to hear that audience roar? I'm a little disappointed.
Now, and normally I wouldn't want to jump so far ahead in the episode 2, him losing the title, but what I'm wondering about, and what I want to know what you guys think of is WWE.com spoiling that title change yesterday. And giving it away that ADR had regained the U.S. title. What do we think of that?
I forgot about that. I read that story yesterday, and as we were watching tonight, I got just as excited as usual. I read a lot of things and I forget them.
Sure.
But that's monstrous.
It was
that
an odd
they did
move.
that.
Yeah.
That they did that, and I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't some sort of last minute rush to change. I mean, they could edit the show. They could change when the moves are shown. They could have changed it if they had wanted to unspoil it for us.
I mean, they did it on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, they definitely were gonna keep it that way if they decided to make a whole post about it. I'm just wondering what their thinking was.
I mean, it's not the first time they've done it. They've done it many times before.
Because to me,
I'm not a fan of it.
Right, because my thinking is if you're trying to reposition SmackDown as the number 2 show as it should be, and make it still kind of part of canon, you want people to tune in for surprises like that.
And especially me, I used to be very big on spoilers. I probably don't read spoilers in the last 5 years, just because I like to have that ability of watching SmackDown or even other shows like I do watch Raw, and not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah, and unexpected title changes feel like nothing else in wrestling.
That's why I kind of avoid, I kind of hate websites too.
Right.
Even third party ones were spoiler title change at tapings, and
that's
it's
exactly
then you think about it, you're like, wait, there's only one championship on the line. I'm like, come on, man, you gotta word a little bit better than that.
So it was an interesting move on their part. I was just curious about that.
Yeah, they fired that intern, so.
Well, I sort of think that everything they're doing right now is based on ratings. And trying to get more ratings. So maybe they think people didn't like Kalisto having the championship and they want to say, hey, it's okay, you can watch SmackDown because he's going to lose it. Or, which is probably not the case. Or they just want people to know, hey, there's going to be a title change on SmackDown. Make sure you tune in.
So I think they're in that mentality of back, what year were we in? 18 or 17 years ago. 17 years ago, where the opposing, the competition to WWE announced that Mick Foley was going to win the championship.
Sure.
And then everybody tuned over to that.
Right, exactly.
I mean, this is 17 years later. Not everybody has that same mentality of especially because people wanted to see Mick Foley win the belt.
Exactly, yeah. And I don't think anyone was clamoring for ADR to regain the US title.
just not at that level.
Again.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, now I gotta flip over from what's on.
Well, yeah, what's
on these days on
Colony.
Thursdays? Yeah, Colony apparently. It's just weird that they do that now. I mean,
Sure.
Oh, it's a Thursday night wars between SmackDown and Big Bang Theory.
I think we all know who's going to walk away with the title.
You can see the invasion.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next up, this one I'm curious to see what you guys thought of it. The Social Outcast, which everyone has a lot to say about, versus Goldust, Zack Ryder, Damian Sandow, who's always a big surprise, and Jack Swagger. Did this seem like a hodgepodge? Did this make sense? Do we like to see the Social Outcast come out?
I thought it was
How are you
interesting.
feeling?
I thought it was essentially it was the old Job Squad versus the new Job Squad, pretty much. I mean, it's but it's showing unity between the Social Outcast.
if you're gonna say unity, you gotta say
unity.
team bag.
But I think that's what they needed. They needed, now that they have a theme song, now that they have an entrance.
I
video,
like their shirt
now that
too.
they have their shirts,
I know they had
shirt.
I know they had like the hashtag social outcast, but I like that little 4-picture shirt that they had. I thought that was a cool, like the 4 mugshot.
I think what they needed was a 4-on-4 win against 4 randomly assembled mid-carders.
It was
Random.
The randomness made it make
Right.
sense.
It was at least we got to see Damian Sandow a little. Not much, but a little.
Just a skosh,
A little bit.
It was like the potpourri category on Jeopardy.
Right,
It's just like,
right,
it's
right.
whatever.
But,
Let's put them out there.
But I also enjoyed, in the finish, there was a miscommunication, but it led to a victory, and it didn't lead to dissension. And that same thing happened on NXT this week. Dash and Dawson had a miscommunication. One elbowed the other in the head, but it counted as a tag and led to their victory. And so it makes the team seem stronger as a unit to be able to overcome that and say, hey, at least we won.
Yeah, well, I really enjoy the rallying cry that is Bo Dallas.
Oh, for sure.
He got them to go around the ring at the beginning of the match.
You gotta take that lap.
Did the Matrix style move right off of Heath Slater. It's like, you've gotta love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's personality, it's flair, and it's a win. There's no asterisk next to a W.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah, that bulldog was something else.
The Bodog.
The running
Bulldog.
That's what
Bodog.
I said.
I thought you said Bulldog.
That's what I meant to say.
That's the Bodog.
A bulldog of a bodog.
I have my new tablet and it didn't spell correct. That's my issue. Pins Zack Ryder and the Social Outcasts are victorious.
I kind of feel bad for some of the guys that were facing the social outcast. I mean, every time, especially when I see Jack Swagger, this guy's a former world heavyweight champion.
I know.
Even guys like Zack Ryder, former U.S. champion, former tag team champion.
internet
How do you think
champion.
Goldust feels?
Yeah, right?
Well, I mean, he's
a pro. He's old hat at it, but it's like still it kind of hurts a bit to see it.
Yeah,
And
for me.
I feel like Goldust needs another shot at Stardust as well. I want that feud to be
You mean
rekindled.
Ziggy Stardust?
As much as I know.
By the way, kudos to Stardust with the David Bowie
for
tribute on
sure.
Raw.
I
I
love
thought that was
that.
awesome.
As much as I'm enjoying the Titus Stardust feud, I want to see them rekindle.
And real
it.
quick, I know it had to be intentional that they had Ziggler standing next to Stardust, so we can have
Right,
Ziggy Stardust on Monday on Raw.
exactly.
That had to be intentional. The things I noticed about
I was
wrestling.
going to say, and some people miss that. OMG.
I know some people are going to be like, "Oh my God, were they standing next to each other on Raw?" Oh, thanks, George, for catching that.
Nailing it.
Yeah.
Well, Renee Young pops up again at this point and sets up the next match for us with a little convo with Alberto Del Rio. I always like to hear him talk. He's a great promoer.
Oh, great.
You just like the accent.
Yeah, he can
The
do it
Latin
right.
accent.
The one that I don't have, apparently.
Well, he sets it up
He
for
gets
us, and then the
fired up.
guys come out.
Yeah.
This one is going to be Kalisto versus Alberto Del Rio for the U.S. title. I always love to see the title on the line. I think there should be a title on the line all the time.
There should be more title defenses for sure. Especially considering in his first reign with the title, he hardly ever defended it. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
Alberto Del Rio kind of dominated at the beginning of this, which always is an indicator to me that that person's going to lose. So I kind of hate it when they do that. But they ended up telling a great story. There was some climaxes.
That's the back and forth of pro wrestling. It's designed to make you think that.
Yeah. But and these guys did a good job of it.
One thing that I noticed during this match, and I don't know if you guys touched on this last week, but the fact that Jerry the King Lawler is finally a heel again.
I know. I didn't even catch that last week, but this week, especially like on Kalisto, I'm like,
he was
dude, where did this come
really
from?
going in on it, and I like it. I really like it. You know, I was on Reddit because I'm a hardcore Redditor. I was on Squared Circle, and someone really broke it down in a genius fashion that with the 3-man team that they've got right now, they've got a straight up play-by-play in Mauro Ranallo. They've got a heel in Jerry the King Lawler, and because of that, Byron Saxton is a stronger face opposing him, and it's really kind of a perfect team right now.
Byron's always been a good straight man.
Absolutely. And so now that he has a solid heel to work off of, that's not quite as brash as JBL, I think it really, really works for him.
Well, these guys expressed some major Mauro love last week on the show.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
You guys are liking him as well?
I'm just subbing this show for right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. But it's okay. He's really good. I think you'll like him.
I like Mauro Ranallo. I can see maybe people getting tired of him a little bit. I love his play-by-play style. I love the big fight feel. I love that he makes it seem like more of an athletic competition. The comparison that came to mind when I started listening to him was maybe Tony Schiavone a little bit.
Which isn't a bad comparison at all.
I mean, not bad, but I think maybe the fact that everything kind of has this sort of air of hyperbole to it could maybe get grating to some people. Not to me, but I could see it get grating.
I mean, I thought last week
I think there are pros and cons.
I think last week he was starting to get into the groove, but I think this week people really saw or heard, I guess, what he can do.
Right. And I think it's a good contrast to Michael Cole on Raw.
I wonder if it made Michael Cole step up his game a little bit. Maybe that's why he was spouting off tonight.
Could be.
Yeah, I was a huge fan when they had Booker T on for because he knows all the background of everybody. That man has been around for goodness knows how long. And I just love all the little tidbits and facts and everything that he has.
That's what I
when he
like.
gets on the mic. Awesome.
That's what I like about Mauro Ranallo, and I learned something in his Del Rio matches. His first MMA announcing gig, Del Rio fought. Did you catch that?
Interesting. Yeah. Was that when he
Crow Cop?
Yeah, was that when it was when he was Dos Caras Jr. versus Crow Cop?
I mean, he's had a few MMA fights, I think, but it just funny
I remember one where he even wore the mask.
But it's just one of those things where like it's kind of surreal now. It's like here you are, your first MMA announcing gig. You're announcing, of course, Dos Caras / Del Rio. Now, 15 years later, you're announcing him on SmackDown as Alberto Del Rio, which is kind of a full circle kind of thing.
It's interesting because until Brock Lesnar's return, WWE didn't even really acknowledge MMA or combat sports. And so it's interesting that they're even bringing that into this world.
Back in the world's most dangerous man days of Ken Shamrock.
That's true. Back in the day.
But that was like UFC was like a fly on the
right. Well, and it's not only that, but I think a lot of the reason is that, and it's the reason that a lot of wrestlers don't like guys with MMA gimmicks in pro wrestling, is that theoretically, in theory, we're all believing that pro wrestling is a pure athletic combat sport. So if we're supposed to believe that that's real, then what makes MMA any different in theory?
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I've always considered wrestling stunt cosplay. So
I think you mentioned that last time I was here, and I love that phrase.
It. I mean, it's very athletic. It's timed. It's coordinated. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. And God, I'm not taking anything away from MMA. I can barely watch MMA because that is full serious.
The only reason I say that is because, in theory, what they're trying to convince you is that pro wrestling is essentially MMA. And so it makes the comparison that much more interesting when they decide to mention it.
I mean, a few people in the chat room right now is actually agreeing with the fact that they feel like Mauro does make it like a big match feel.
Sure.
Nice.
So, like I said, hopefully at some point maybe we'll see him call a pay-per-view match.
It'll be interesting if we hear him on at Mania.
Or one of those things where like even going back to Mania or the Raw after Mania where Michael Cole got hurt.
Right.
Michael Cole got hurt, and then I think they had Byron Saxton fill in. We might see Mauro maybe sometime in the future, maybe fill in on Raw, which would be awesome for him
too. There's a lot of speculation about that already. Yeah. Yeah, the folks in the chat roll are agreeing with us. They love Mauro.
I mean, just a lot of great commentary all the way around on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown.
And I said it last week, and then a few people on the chat room, not chat room, but the message board disagree with me. I think Michael Cole is really, really good.
I have no problem with it. I think when they were trying to position him as one of the company's top heels, I think that's when he was a little bit much. Now I have no problem with him.
Well, let's get back into the match. Del Rio, as we were saying, dominated this one.
I forgot there's a
really, right? He was really working Kalisto's arm, remember? Is it all coming back to us now, guys?
Yeah, no, I remember watching this match and just feeling like this is such a mismatch. It kind of felt like watching a middle school fight where like the bully's just sitting on top of the kid.
Right.
It kind of made me feel a little bit bad inside because after he started really beating on him,
No
I'm like,
way.
no way he's going to come back.
I think if
Kalisto.
anything, it's one of those middle school fights where you don't think the little one's going to come back, but
He
then
didn't.
he ends up whooping the big one.
I was expecting that, and I was hoping for that so much because you just kind of need that underdog to come back around. And I know that he had the title, so he isn't technically an underdog. But I wanted him to retain. I really wanted that.
Well, yeah, Del Rio was just being such a jerk, going for his mask and the whole thing.
But we did see a lot of durability and a lot of resilience from Kalisto. I mean, that first cross arm breaker, I think for sure looked like the finish right there. But he fought through it, and then I think we saw a lot out of him.
But even so, it wasn't so much the underdog and the bully. It was the bully needed help to beat the underdog as well.
They
That is
were
true.
really more on
He did need a distraction.
even ground.
Yeah, so it looked like Kalisto wasn't going to win, but it was where that eatable
Although-
Barrett.
Right.
ADR gave him a wedgie. Gave him a wedgie in the ring. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he started to reach a little momentum at one point, and then Alberto Del Rio comes out with his backbreaker, 2-2, and then, lo and behold, who shows up?
I'm afraid I've got
Barrett.
some bad news.
Yeah.
We were like, where
King
the hell did
Barrett
he come
just
from?
there.
Right.
And kind of why. I mean, we get why, but sort of why. I don't know. Were you guys
It's like,
surprised to see
dude,
him
what's
show
your
up?
stake in this?
Yeah.
It's like
It seems like they're kind of they're
Nations.
running hot and cold on the League of Nations. I feel like we're not always seeing them together.
It's one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, I
Right.
forgot that they're super friends now. you
Right,
know?
exactly. Because like we've got ADR and Barrett, but like I completely forgot that Sheamus was part of the League of
I
Nations.
think
tonight.
Rusev might be hurt like a couple weeks
Right,
too. So.
I
He's
heard
back
that.
to working live events now.
it's like
Okay,
there's
cool.
a
Last
hat
couple days.
backstage with names in it, and they're like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, King Barrett,
All
get
right,
out
it's
there.
you. You're up.
It would be fun if they actually did that at some point.
Or it'd be funny if like Barrett didn't know he was supposed to come out. He's like, oh my god, I'm supposed to come out there right now. Go to commercial break, and then I'll make it seem like I was always there.
Was there the whole time.
Kalisto makes it to the rope at one point, breaks up that arm breaker, but then finds himself in another one and eventually taps out to Alberto Del Rio. And we have a new United States champion
Two-time.
on SmackDown.
How crappy is it that he didn't even hold it for like 24 hours?
Right, like if
they
we
taped
figure
SmackDown
out
on
if you
Tuesdays.
figure in when it taped, he didn't even hold it for a day.
man.
I know. Behind the scenes, a lot of the talent are like they're happy to be champion, but then it's like that's an extra piece of luggage to carry through the airport.
Right,
So
sure.
there might have been like a brief sign of relief for Del Rio.
Not to brag or anything, but I'm a former champion in my pro wrestling days, and that belt was heavy as hell.
But I'm saying like for Del Rio, it's like I don't want to be I want to be champion, but man, now I don't have to carry that belt. What? I'm winning it back again?
Right.
God,
Yeah,
crap.
Yeah.
Kalisto didn't even have time to Lysol the ADR smell off of the belt.
Although he did have time to put the Kalisto nameplate on it, if you noticed.
Oh,
Of
did
course,
he?
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
notice
yeah.
that. All right.
I thought that they were really going to keep him champion because he has an action figure coming out. His masks are not cheap.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're the parent that like your kid's like, buy me that mask, you want to buy him the mask of the dude that's winning his matches.
Well, and we never know. There could be another rematch. There could be a rubber match at the Rumble.
Maybe.
Where he regains. So,
But in this match, though, I did like it a lot. I did see, and if you ask me what kind of matches I like normal one-on-one matches, to be honest. with you.
sure, absolutely.
But
Exactly.
I did see a lot of the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio kind of underdog feel, and I really did see a lot of that in Kalisto today, especially with the way Del Rio worked the arm. And by the way, the way he worked the arm is like, man, all that looked
really
legit.
good. Right,
Those
right.
those things to the steel stabs
Absolutely.
and everything.
Solid.
Man,
Solid hold.
But yeah, like I totally think that at some point they're gonna maybe give Kalisto a longer reign, or maybe just not even as a champion, but just longer TV time, longer matches,
Right.
more
Like
pay-per-view
your
matches.
optimism.
You got to think the way a lot of people are reacting right now is the way a lot of people reacted when they pulled Jericho versus Triple H and he won the title for about 30 seconds before they reversed the decision. It could be just to legitimize him as a champion so that he can get a longer reign down the line.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, I think you hit the nail right on the head there, Ty. All right, well, let's move on to a little bit of ladies diva action. This one started off with a bang, too. Renee is talking to Becky, and she's like, Becky, you must be so sad. And Becky was like, well, yeah, I am, but I'm gonna challenge Charlotte to a match at the Royal Rumble.
Say that again, but in the accent.
Oh, I can't do it. Can't do it. Won't try.
Now I was expecting a stipulation out of this challenge as well. I was expecting, as much as I also love straight up one-on-one contests, I was expecting maybe some sort of, I don't know, people are banned from ringside or something to neutralize the interference factor.
And I wanted it kind of. We need something to spice up these Divas matches. Yes.
Right. Because I think if this match ends in an interference loss for Becky, I think she just looks like a fool at this point.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, she's tonight on SmackDown. Becky is going to throw down with Brie Bella. This is kind of a follow-up from Raw when Charlotte interrupted. No, I'm sorry. Becky interrupted Brie and Charlotte's match, and Brie didn't get to wrestle, and she's not happy about that. She's the only wrestling in the family right now. She's going to get her time.
Sure.
Right? So let's see what you guys think of this one. It was short but sweet.
I think Brie has been really, really bringing it in terms of the kicks, in terms of the elbows that were reminiscent of her husband. She's really, really bringing the striking game. She's not clobbering people to the degree that Nikki was with that forearm, but which I felt like was even harder than Barrett's bullhammer at some points. But
Fearless Nikki.
But I think Brie was really bringing it, and the finish to this match was absolutely beautiful. That transition right into this armor was gorgeous.
I agree.
Yeah.
Again, going back to what Del Rio was doing, I see a lot of that in Becky as well.
Right.
I
think Brie kind of learned her lesson to not interrupt Becky when she's delivering a butt whooping. It's like, no, this I'm teaching you real quick, just so that you know. And okay, we've learned. All right, and let me right against the ropes right here. So I really enjoy Becky.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And I think this match with Charlotte at the Royal Rumble is one that I've been waiting to see, and I think it's going to be a great match. I hate Nikki Bella being out, and I hate not seeing Team Bella more often, but this worked for me tonight, and I'm going to be looking forward to that one. And on that note, the ladies have been everywhere this week because they are promoting Total Divas. I don't know if you caught them on SportsCenter and Good Morning America, and they were everywhere.
New season's this Tuesday, right?
That's right. We will be here. Love it, ladies. Let's see what the folks in the chat room had to say about the Divas match.
Awesome last kicker.
All right.
There we go.
Imagine that. They love Becky as much as we do.
Sure.
I want her to explain what her character is, because I just
Who,
see
Becky?
Gadget from the Rescue
No,
Rangers.
she's
She
steampunk.
loves steam.
Okay.
She is steampunk.
How many people in the world know what steampunk is?
Everyone.
Okay.
Everyone but you.
No,
Now
I know what
that-
everyone
steampunk
but you.
is, but
Now
when
that
she comes
she's
out
got-
looking like Gadget,
Now
I'm
that
like,
she's got gears,
She's
she's got gears in her video. She's got goggles. She's got steam in her entrance now, which is even more Edge-like.
And her music, I mean, it's perfect. I mean, it goes with all the steampunk. It goes with like steampunk anime and just steampunk IRL. So
I
I have a question though. What is steampunk?
steampunk is how Becky looks.
It's okay. So like
And then Becky looks. Okay, I got it.
It's that whole aesthetic of like Jules Verne, lots of gears, lots of steam, obviously, lots of bronze and copper.
Yeah,
it's like Wild
if that
Wild
rule-
West come to life.
That's exactly right.
Very.
Yeah,
I mean, to
that's
me, it's
the
very like
easiest thing for
like
people
the
to
Sherlock
relate
Holmes
to.
movies. I feel like Becky Lynch. That's how she dresses.
Sure. And Wild Wild West is a great comparison as well. That's Wild Wild West. I think was kind of the first thing that brought steampunk to the masses.
Really?
It's kind of like the what is it? The Goldberg machine like era. where it's-
Rube Goldberg machines.
Yeah, where it's just like a very complicated machine
One thing leads to another, leads
boil
to another.
eggs.
Right.
So it's just kind of like that. If that kind of era of thinking has stuck around
there we
and
go.
gone on into the future, it's like that's steampunk.
And her gimmick is that she
absolutely
likes
gorgeous.
it. She's just a fan.
I just want to be the fan in the crowd that caught those goggles.
Sure.
Oh my
Right?
god!
Can you
right?
imagine on eBay?
You don't know how much steampunk goggles cost.
eBay? You on eBay? You want to just wear them or keep them?
Yeah, you wear them.
No, I think I might sell them on eBay.
It's not Ryback's necklace.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I would not give up $1
it's
million
no-
for that.
It's no Sonny's Hall of Fame ring.
Where the hell was he again? Oh yeah, Sonny's Hall of Fame ring. Oh my gosh, we should just pool our
Right?
money and
Opening
try to
bids,
try to buy it.
No, thank you.
Opening bids,
I've seen.
$3,000.
You see what
I-
she's done with her fingers when she's had it on?
No, I'm not. I didn't see it. I'll leave it
You
as
don't
a no.
That was
understand.
too much.
George doesn't like accessories.
Oh, we are.
Too much. Sorry, folks.
I can't deny it. I can't deny it.
Appropriate the SmackDown because we're working blue tonight.
When she's right, she's
working
right.
blue.
Well, I think someone said Ryback at some point there. He wasn't on the show again tonight. I have a major problem with this. I need to see Ryback on every show.
We saw him on Raw.
Especially the one that I talk about.
Even that,
and
that was weird. Because like Ryback came out and then he
was helping out the Outcasts.
But then like the Outcasts were just there, like okay, are we all friends now? And now they're back to being heels again. They should have jumped Ryback.
Ryback's former Nexus stablemates with Axel and Slater.
Okay,
they're just old buds.
Wait, really? Wait,
well, maybe they can reunite next week.
He was
Skip Sheffield.
Skip Sheffield. Yep.
Oh yeah. It was later. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking like he was on the first Tough Enough.
When he was Skip Sheffield.
He was on the $1 Million Tough Enough.
With the Miz.
Someone feed Christy. She's hungry.
And Daniel Peter.
We're wildly off topic now. Let's get to the third and final main event of the evening. This one was Sheamus and Kevin Owens in a tag team match versus Dean Ambrose and Neville.
The Slammy Award-winning Neville. The man that gravity forgot, the new sensation. Every other nickname they've given him.
Yes, so many.
Well, he had the gravity one before WWE, but you know.
Right, so there's a little heat between him and Kevin Owens because of that, and we all know what's going on with the rest of the guys. This was a great match, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
And can I say at the beginning, the very, very beginning, I love that they cut to "You Look Stupid" after Sheamus. I just love little moments like that with like the audience getting involved in WWE, just like totally recognizing that.
Right, and made that fans' day.
Love that tidbit.
On TV.
But yeah, the actual match. Once again, Ambrose. Oh my God, Ambrose, beautiful. I love him when he goes into berserker mode, when he's just doing the jab, chop, and like dancing kicks and tornado DDT, and then it's the beautifulness of Dean Ambrose. I mean, can we just all agree that he's the ultimate? I want him to be the heavyweight champion. Let's be honest. I want that. It's a possibility that could happen.
It could happen in the Rumble.
So, I mean, he's Intercontinental. It's just a little step. It's a little step and a jump.
Then you'd have to carry 2 belts through the airport.
But, I mean, obviously, these are 4 more than capable wrestlers. And so you throw them all together in a big pot. 3 of them, obviously, with huge indie cred. Oof. And Sheamus just a beast on his own. You know, we've got a recipe for an awesome disaster.
Did he have indie cred in Europe?
Yeah.
Sheamus?
Yeah, because he was definitely a European.
Him, Barrett, and like Drew McIntyre, they all kind of came up together
in Irish
in Europe.
Whip, in Irish Whip wrestling, yeah, for sure.
They all got signed at the same time too.
Yeah, right.
They all had their try and then got signed at the same time.
UK crew, yeah.
Somewhere in England, the guys are like, "Wait, what do you mean?"
That's why I wish I could have seen that Sheamus Balor match that they had on the Ireland tour.
I know.
Yeah, right.
That would have been awesome, and we'll probably see it sometime soon.
Hopefully,
probably within the year.
Do we think Finn Balor might be a surprise entrant in the Rumble?
I don't think so.
You don't think?
Oh man, are we gonna do predictions?
So much talk about all of
We're not there
We
yet.
can't do predictions this early.
Will, just for you, James. We will.
I think it's too soon for. I mean, it's not too soon for Finn. I think Finn's like, no, I don't want to. I want to be here for a little bit more.
Well, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll bring him to the main roster full time. But we've seen hot shot surprise Rumble entrants before.
Maybe.
Could be.
Should be fun.
I think it
fun
says something that's going to be in Orlando, so I know who I'd love to show up.
At the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, especially since it's in Orlando.
Somebody, I don't know who.
AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what
TNA, baby.
Finn Balor retweeted something where someone made a meme where it's like, what if this man was number 1, Finn Balor, and this man was number 2, AJ Styles, the 2 leaders of the Bullet Club, you know? Could be good stuff.
Should be fun.
Just saying, if he's not doing New Japan, I want him to do WWE.
Right?
Well,
I'm
they've
hoping for
at least
more.
orchestrated this in a PR way really geniusly. The fact that everyone is talking about those guys coming over is, I'm sure they're going to set up something majorly fantastic.
Sure.
Even if it doesn't happen at the Rumble, it'll be coming eventually.
Soon.
It should. Give Orlando something.
Yeah, I heard Anderson and Gallows could be doing NXT tapings as early as March.
I hope so too.
Fingers crossed.
Have you worked with any of those guys? I know Carl Anderson used to be.
Carl Anderson, yeah, I knew him. 6-7 years ago. Yeah. It just absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
but yeah.
He's a cool guy.
That'll be good stuff.
And I'm sure Mauro Ranallo will be like, I called a match 20 years ago with 5 of these guys and whatever. How about when Kevin, I was just trying to segue. How about when Kevin Owens called him out tonight and called him 4 Eyes and was like, took a little moment out of the match to talk to him.
Yeah, he calls Rich Brennan Millhouse, which is awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, Kevin's just a bully. I love it.
Had a couple of German suplexes go back and forth during this match.
Sure.
That was a cool moment. Kevin Owens tears up the table. The bell rings. Neville takes everybody out.
When he just drops the top of the table on Dean Ambrose, and then they're about to powerbomb him through it, the way that Kevin Owens did a couple weeks ago on Raw, and then from out of nowhere, a Wild Neville appears.
Wild Neville.
Super effective. And just,
Is that species extinct? The Wild Neville?
There's only one left.
Comes to the reeds.
But, over the top rope with the somersault plancha, sets up for dirty deeds, and then a beautiful red arrow.
Oh, man. It was so nice. It's like a concentration in his face right before he did it. It's like,
Absolutely.
oh, you know how magic this is right now.
That's what I always loved about Justin Gabriel's 450 is he looked so focused because you got to really he's about to be on Lucha Underground. Starts in a couple weeks.
Oh, nice. Okay, because I was kind of had a little thing for Justin Gabriel, just because he was so bad, but
Absolutely.
and just like that, and was it a volcanic luging or something like that? Yeah, I was like,
he does all sorts of wacky stuff.
How about when he screwed JoJo over on Total Divas and rode off in a cab in Vegas with that other girl?
Wow.
I know, right?
That was the next thing you guys were going to say?
That was totally
I missed that
totally
one.
the next thing.
That's all I think about when I hear Justin Gabriel.
But yeah, no, PJ Black is going to be on Lucha Underground, so you guys should watch that.
Yeah, I think about his boots, very steampunk.
Oh yeah, those motocross boots.
Yeah.
Now that we know what it is. Anything you guys would like to add about this match?
I loved when Ambrose went for the Nigel type clothesline and Kevin Owens just kicked him in the head.
I love when they
that was
subvert
really great.
that because
That was really great.
it's becoming so well known that you got to think like guys are going to start subverting it, and I love when they do that. Just that.
Yeah, it was
and Kevin Owens has
solid.
such a gorgeous super kick.
It was a great kick to the head, and then that's when Sheamus followed with white noise, right? And we're like, well, ooh, is he out? No, because he's him.
I love it. I love it. Well, before we roll on to the next segment, I have to ask our engineer James if he has the photo that I emailed earlier today. Then we should have addressed this before the show.
I do not.
Okay. Well, let's anyway move into our next segment. This will be a fun one because you guys don't get to do it all the time. We call this Believe That.
Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this.
I'm always reading the dirt sheets. I'm finding the rumors, what people are saying out there. Is it true? Is it not true? And I want to know if you guys believe that. This is a good one.
Okay.
And this
All
is
right,
one
let's
that
do it.
people have been talking about for like a year or something, and that is that maybe a Sister Abigail character will be brought into WWE to hang out with the Wyatt family.
Wow.
And a little lady who you may or may not
Anthropomorphic.
know,
Right.
named
Anthropomorphic Sister Abigail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
She's not just a
Santana
rocking
Garrett,
chair.
NXT Santana Garrett, she's not officially signed with the company. She still does indie shows and she's still got a store on Pro Wrestling Tees, so you know that she's not officially signed. But she posted a photo of maybe her or some woman with the sheep mask on and said something about like, I am I'm not done searching. It's time for the awakening. And it's hashtag wake up seems to be the thing they're pushing. And she seems to think that she's going to be Sister Abigail.
This is gonna be weird. I think she's too pretty to be Sister Abigail.
Right? Put a mask on.
Well, you put a mask
She's
on
very,
her.
or she's very voluptuous. if
Sure,
anything.
sure.
And I just didn't picture
And that's not what you
Sister
think
Abigail.
of when you think of like someone from a Bayou cult.
No, for example,
How do you picture Sister Abigail? I'm
I
curious.
just guessed.
I picture her.
Honestly, I picture like
Have you
Samara
s-
from The Ring.
Have you seen?
Oh my God.
Have you seen Bray Wyatt's real life sister?
She looks
That's why I
Just
figured
like
she'd be
Cody
playing this
Rhodes.
character. at some
striking
point.
resemblance to
Just
her
like Bo
brothers.
Dallas, I'm sorry.
She does. She does.
Yeah.
Very
She looks more like Bo Dallas.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful girl. Very, very similar to Bo
Yeah,
Dallas.
but I think of that sister Abigail. Very pretty, as you said, but I just look
His
at
actual
that
sister?
as a Sister Abigail, not just because they're sister. Maybe.
She's only getting in the ring as an announcer. They're
right,
real
right,
life
right.
sister.
But I don't know. I believe that they're thinking about it. I believe that. I believe that they're thinking about it. I believe that they're planning on it. I don't know if I believe it'll ever come to fruition.
I believe that I absolutely love that idea.
Yes.
That move has so much strength behind it and is utilized so well that they make a character out of it. Are you kidding me? Once you do that once, can you imagine all the other moves that you could make?
Right.
So it's like, I do doubt that they would do that. But if they did, I would kind of want. Now all I can get is the character from The Ring. That's all I can
That was
picture
kind
now.
of the photo that she posted, which you guys can all see on on Santana's Twitter feed, it did sort of look like that kind of a thing.
Okay. Well,
like,
I
I think
would love
somebody
for
in
them
the-
to do that.
Somebody in the chat room also mentioned like Serena.
I could
from
see
like
that.
Straight Edge Society.
Sure.
She would have been a good fit for.
Absolutely.
for-
I would cast Daphne from WCW,
Oh, I love Daphne.
and I would make her like the Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw, where like you never see her, but she's always like in the rocking
just petting
chair.
a cat.
She's just like
always.
in the rocking chair giving Bray advice.
She'd have to have a cat. She'd
Sure.
have to
Yeah,
have a
oh,
cat.
for sure.
But like a really big cat, like that angry cat. Have you guys
Grumpy
the
cat?
angry cat? No, not grumpy
Not
cat.
Grumpy cat?
That angry, evil looking cat.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
think
you
I know
guys
what
have
you're
seen
talking
that.
about on YouTube.
That's the cat that
Like
she
a Bayou cat.
A Bayou
yes.
cat.
Yeah, she'd have a
mangy
Bayou cat.
Bayou cat,
They call
for
it
sure.
that.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe Santana will come up with some of these things. My take on this is that she knows that idea is floating around. She knows she wants to get signed and have a role with WWE, and someone maybe offhandedly from creative said to her, "Oh, you can play Sister Abigail," and maybe she's trying to push it and put it out there and be like, "Hey, yes, I can. Look at this. Look at what the fans are saying about
Trying
it."
to Malcolm Gladwell that S will
Yeah, and
into
I think
existence.
that's smart. I think that's really smart.
It is.
All right, well, we shall see if it happens.
Do you have another believe that?
I actually do because I'm running the show tonight.
Let's do
so,
it.
All right.
So you know
This
what?
is
Let's
fun.
just do two of them because
Yeah.
I said. And this one hits really close to home, guys. Do you believe?
Oh, I
that-
already know what you're going to
Oh
say.
yeah, that WrestleMania may be coming to Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
It
I
won't be
think
for a while.
now it won't be for a while, but I think now that the Rams are coming back, I think we'll have somewhere to have a huge
Yes,
mania.
they are building what will be the NFL's biggest stadium in Inglewood for the Rams, and people are thinking that's probably what's going to bring WrestleMania here. That won't be done till about 2019, but
true.
that would make sense. I can wait till 2019 for WrestleMania to come to LA.
It's been a minute.
Or you can just go to Dallas.
Or
Ugh, so far.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for them not to. I mean, we've already gotten Comic-Con, and that was in San Diego for forever. So, of course, we can have WrestleMania here, too.
Did LA get
As long as we
Comic-Con?
have the space. What?
Did LA get Comic-Con?
Yeah, they've
Say
got Comic-Con.
what?
Yeah, what?
I mean, it's been a while since. I mean, I
might
know
think of
it
WonderCon.
was.
I might be thinking WonderCon.
You might be thinking.
I
might be
know.
thinking WonderCon.
I know
Was
it
it
was.
Anaheim?
Was it? I guess 5-6 hours north from LA. This past year.
This past Mania?
It's
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
same.
Not the same.
I want to be like
Like
5-6 minutes
San
away from
Jose.
WrestleMania.
I've always said Northern California and Southern California might as well be different states anyway.
For
So
sure.
come on, guys.
I agree.
21 was the last time they were here, right?
I was
Yeah.
wondering about that. If there's been any.
Oh my
since
God.
I mean,
Yeah,
they
that was
had
forever ago.
they had the 5 straight SummerSlams, which I'm not gonna lie, got a
True.
little tiring
True.
toward the end. And I
Bite
know
your
we just
tongue. I
had.
got great interviews. Please bring SummerSlam back to LA.
And I know we
With
had.
you, Christy.
And I know we just had Hell in a Cell, but just that
Right.
whole WrestleMania. I've been to WrestleMania. I've been to that whole, and I know Markeia can speak for me too. Where like, dude, access and just banging that around in that environment, oh my, like it's just insane. And for LA,
Nice.
for me to have not sleep in my own bed and be able to do that every day, it'd be
Very
a dream
true.
come true.
Sure.
I'm sorry, someone in the chat roll just mentioned Sarah Lee's name, and I don't know if they're still talking about the Sister Abigail or not, but that's funny.
Should be-
Sarah Lee from Tough Enough as Sister Abigail.
I think she'd be good.
That actually.
She would smile through.
For some reason, I started
through
thinking,
Sister
what about
Abigail.
Crazy Mary
Be creepy.
Dobson?
Yeah.
Crazy Mary Dobson could be a
maybe.
good Sister Abigail.
Love it.
Who knows?
Well, guys, should we roll into some predictions?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I love when those lights flash.
AfterBuzz TV
But they're not flashing
predictions.
though.
Oh, they don't do that in here? Oh.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Boom,
Oh,
boom,
podcasters,
boom,
you are
boom,
missing out on some
boom.
special effects here, let me tell you.
Good
Your
stuff.
AfterBuzz TV.
What
We
are
need to start doing these on
Alright,
Raw. I don't know why we don't do these on Raw.
Well, tell us what you think is
like a
in
UFO.
store for the WWE Superstars and Divas time.
In store for the Divas, I think I got a really interesting tweet that I think I gotta agree with, and that is that Kevin Owens is gonna eliminate Brock Lesnar from the Royal Rumble to set up a one-on-one between them at WrestleMania.
That could work.
That's fun.
Or maybe Fastlane. I know Brock
Or
is
it could be
advertised for Fastlane.
Could be Fastlane, yeah. But I think with the way they were booking, they've kind of taken off on the, they've kind of let up off the gas a little bit, but they were booking Kevin Owens as this monster, when he put Dean Ambrose through the table, things like that. And that's the kind of push that he needs to be a credible opponent for the Beast, So I think if Kevin Owens does pull, a little chicken elimination from behind, that could be the push that program needs.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, so that's my
And this is the
prediction.
first time in a while, and especially because it's for the title, where Rumble I think is a little unpredictable. I mean, I think
Absolutely.
although Roman and Brock are probably my two favorites as far as who's going to win, but yeah, anything can. And especially now, it's like you had the winner, and you know that winner is going to be booked until WrestleMania. Now it's like you really have WrestleMania wide open,
Right,
Because the winner of the Rumble doesn't mean that you're going to be in the main event.
So who knows?
They can lose it at Fastlane.
Right, and who knows who the number one contender will be by then? So much can happen.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's gonna be good.
What about y'all?
I know somebody in the chat room maybe suggested maybe Sami Zayn.
Oh, I
shows
love
up to
well,
the
that would be
Rumble.
nice.
I love anything with
Think they
Sami
would do
Zayn on the
that,
main
though?
roster for sure.
Oh, I don't know, but I would love it. Obviously, because he's Sami Zayn.
Absolutely.
Kind of curious. What do you guys think?
Maybe Tyler Breeze.
Oh, I did read that. I did have a third believe that, but I decided it was boring.
Right, I saw
Tyler
that.
Breeze has officially been. Vince McMahon. Triple H gave him his chance, and Vince McMahon was not impressed. So he's been not sent back down officially. But,
I think
he's in the corner.
that report wasn't saying that just happened recently. I think that was saying when he first got brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And that Triple H wanted to make him kind of a main player,
heel.
and then Vince kind of instantly said, "Nah, maybe not."
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't think he's getting set back down necessarily, but
no. Well, the way that they sort of unceremoniously split up him and Summer, it was like kind of meant that he was being put on the back burner,
I see,
right? Yeah. Oh, maybe that can be my prediction. Summer Rae will return to the Divas division and actually wrestle again because she was kind of good at it. Remember?
I love her
She was
stuff.
not
Getting much
terrible.
better.
Yeah.
She was really throwing her little bit of weight behind it.
Yeah, so I'll predict that.
Good predictions.
Yeah, I like these.
All right,
show.
I predict that at the Rumble, we're gonna get AJ, and if we don't get
You think
AJ,
so?
we're
AJ's gonna come
Really?
in.
maybe Nakamura.
Wow, AJ Lee coming back at the Rumble according to James apparently. Wow.
Man.
I was telling Christy this earlier. Like, I want the Rumble to the Final Four to be like Reigns, Lesnar, AJ, and Ryback, and then like Ryback nails Reigns, throws him over. Ryback climbs out himself and leaves AJ to win the belt, and then the new faction with the traitor of Ryback, and we start the Balor Club.
Interesting.
This could happen. That's why they're trying to make us forget about Ryback.
A third bald member of the Balor Club.
Yes. Oh, the folks in the chat room really don't want to see Summer Rae come back.
I've spoken.
Random news. Have you guys been watching Making a Murderer? Anybody?
Isn't there a show for
I'm
that?
following it through TMZ, but I haven't actually been watching.
I
The
haven't.
main guy on Making a Murderer, I guess, is a big wrestling fan, and there's been a meme
Not a
shirt
good look for us.
drawn up of like his road to WrestleMania in 2048.
Oh my god!
And I guess he's been asking for a real WWE superstar to come visit him in jail, and
Interesting.
X-Pac has decided he will go visit him in prison.
Well,
Seriously?
then.
Okay.
Wow.
Weird.
I did not read that anywhere.
story.
Yeah, that's all right.
I love X-Pac.
Okay.
Of course he would. X-Pac would.
Sure. Why not?
Aw. Do you have any more tidbits for us, James?
Look at that.
Sorry, this is our
Jimbo.
engineer James
Jimbo
talking,
with the
folks.
hot tip.
I've been tweeting with TJ and Natty about
Oh,
trying to get
yes.
them in for Total Divas, but other than that, no, that's all I got.
They were recently in attendance at PWG.
Yeah, and you met them, right, James?
Yes, I did, and they both enjoyed my documentary on the Young Bucks.
Oh, very cool.
Well, of course they did, because it's
That
awesome.
documentary was phenomenal.
While you're
I
chatting,
love
where
the
can
Young
people get it,
Bucks.
James?
On highspots.com, the Young Bucks 2 Sweet Journey.
There we go.
Love it.
Very nice.
Cool.
Don't
Well,
forget.
support James' documentary.
Do it.
And guys, if they want to hang out with you online and see what you're up to, where can they do that at?
You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Ty Matthews PMA, on various other after shows here at AfterBuzz, Raw on Mondays, Pitch Slapped on Tuesdays, and Second Chance on Wednesdays.
All right.
Yeah, you guys can find me online, Twitter at Markeia McCarty, spelled it at the beginning of the show. Also Instagram. If you like live comedy, my improv group Essence, all black females, is playing at the Impro in Hollywood the rest of the Saturdays of this month at 9 o'clock.
Girl power. She's a
Yeah.
funny lady, guys. Go and check that out.
I want to thank Matt Bloom for joining us today.
He was real quiet
he's
today,
yeah,
you know?
He's too busy thinking about training the future of the WWE.
True,
Head trainer of
The
NXT.
action figure
Yes.
podcasters.
The developmental.
George
He's a
loves his
very
Barbies.
attractive doll, George.
Think so?
He's a pretty guy.
Sure.
Look at those. Look at that gut.
Look at the little nose
You
ring.
can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and even on PlayStation Network at
at
G
that.
Hermoza,
Look
who
at
wants
that.
some of this in WWE 2K16.
In fact, I think you can find me on there as well.
Yeah, G Hermoza,
Hey.
who wants some of this.
Let's do it.
I'm not giving
I
out my
really
handle.
want you to say who wants some of this one more time.
Athletic pummel.
This
do it.
wants who some. Sort of like Yoda.
All right. Well, you guys, please follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Christy Reports. And please also check out ChristyReports.com and my YouTube channel, Christy Reports. I have a really fun Total Divas video, some sneak peek clips, because, as we may have mentioned, it premieres next Tuesday, the 19th. And George and I will be here for the AfterBuzz TV After Show. I don't know right off the top of my head what time we'll be on, but make sure you follow us on Twitter and we
8
will
o'clock.
tell you.
8 o'clock.
There it is.
And the
8
usual
p.m.
SmackDown panel. Okay, 8 p.m. Thank you, George.
You're welcome,
The usual
Christy.
SmackDown panel will be back next week. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, you
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
This was
Yeah.
tons of fun. I will see you all back
Tons of
here
funk.
next week. Yeah.
There we go.
I love it.
Yeah.
Have a
Very
great
nice.
week. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Markeia McCarty, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.